Lane, we were
Lane,
seconds.
I was about to
No,
record.
I'm sorry. You have to see this.
Oh, I'm getting that shirt.
It's a picture of
Okay.
Mother Teresa and it says MILF.
All right, you know what? This is staying in. Brian, don't edit this,
What
please.
the fuck? Oh my god.
People are going to be like, I expect an opening to the show. All right, let's have 3 seconds
Okay.
of silence.
Ready?
Lane, are you okay?
Are you okay?
To start?
Are you okay, Lane? We broke Lane. The internet broke Lane.
Oh my god.
All right, ready?
Oh, goody, goody, here it comes.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show.
You are interested in the unknown, the mysterious, the unexplainable. That is why you are here.
Oh my god, don't stop now!
With your hosts, Brian, John, and Elaine.
Welcome to the Cinema Psycho Show, the madhouse for film freaks and film fans of all types. I'm your host, Brian Coddington, joined my fellow co-hosts and filmmakers, John and Lane Woolscroft.
Oh, 2019, we hardly knew ye.
We actually knew it for 365 days.
We
though.
knew it pretty well.
I feel good.
Yeah, in 2021, we'll have known 2020 for 366 days. Leap year.
I know, leap year. Yeah.
Yeah, but all the holidays fall on Saturdays now, so it fucks up like getting days off of work. I don't
Not
like it.
not for me.
No. Hey, listen, as having kids, I'm glad the holidays fall on Saturdays.
As a parent, you
as
don't
a-
actually want to spend time with your children.
No, it's not that. It's just you don't know the struggle of the day after a holiday. If it's like, oh, we got to get you ready for school.
Oh, you have a lot.
So
on
it's
your
like,
plate,
oh,
my
what's
dude.
that? Halloween falls on a Tuesday, and you were up all night binging candy, and
Oh, you're
now we're gonna get.
psyched out of their minds. It's Saturday.
Oh man, yeah. I mean, I'm just glad that they don't that because it's Saturday. We don't have to worry about getting them ready for school the next day because that always is a struggle.
Yeah, the holiday hangover, the little baby
man,
hangover.
It truly is. But we're on episode 160.
Oh, the 160. I was like when we hit
160.
a 0 at the end.
Yeah, we're on episode 160, and this is going to be a two-parter, right?
Yes.
So this is going to be our year in review of 2019. Now,
We got
John-
some knowledge to drop.
Yeah, we do. And John, you kind of are our main purveyor.
I punched the numbers.
John, you
of
see
2019.
an insane amount of movies. My 2020 goal is to at least see half of what you've seen.
I owe it to you, dear listeners.
Yeah, no, and he was stressing because he didn't literally see every movie that came out last year. He was stressing about it, and I was like,
Well, every movie that mattered. I mean,
yeah, well, I mean, all the movies that mattered.
I
but
actually
was like-
have a running list each year of movies that I miss, and like
Yeah.
I go through some, and I'm like, that one doesn't matter, that one doesn't matter. Like I miss Bala from last January, and I'm like, well, that's just not being seen. Fuck
I mean,
that.
Right.
obviously,
There's only so
and-
many hours in the day.
It's not like you're going to go ahead and say, "Well, I saw a cool cat superhero now."
Oh,
which-
well, I'm definitely saying that.
Oh my god,
That's-
no, he
that's
literally
that.
put it on the list for our year. We've been working on our year calendar as like humans and married people.
God.
It's literally on there, and he wants to have it as a party. So guess who's invited?
By the way, this is kind of off topic, but we might have on our Twitter responded to Cool Cat about his dubious claim of solving the climate crisis.
I'm all in. I'm so excited.
Well, basically, if you give me a second, I can pull it up.
In the meantime,
This
yeah.
act moron.
I'd like
No,
to-
but this is really good.
I would like to say, dear listeners, that John may or may not have acquired a certain filmmaker's box set.
What?
A what?
You did. You bought.
Did you get it?
No, not Cool Cat. Another
No, that's-
shitty
Oh, you said
filmmaker.
John Mayer. I thought you said John Mayer. I was like,
Oh,
I thought you bought the rights to something. I
John.
was way out.
Oh no, John may have. John is you. You is
Yeah.
John.
No, that's what I meant.
Yeah.
Did you get the brain?
Oh yeah, but I didn't give Neil Breen a cent.
Okay.
Oh, it's so good. It
how
makes me
did you
so
how did you
happy.
do that one, friend?
Somebody has an Etsy store, and they have every copy of Neil Breen movies, which they make copies of, and they sell Neil Breen collections. So I didn't give that asshole Neil Breen a single penny, and I got all of his movies.
I am pretty excited for you.
Oh. Well,
So
there
the
you
Breen
go.
apocalypse is back, baby.
Okay, so here I'm not trying to. say that isn't awesome. But I just found no. But seriously, that is awesome because I really don't want to give that asshole any money.
Agreed.
All right, so I want to go through this because this is amazing. So on Cool Cat's Twitter handle, okay, which is Cool Cat Loves You.
He has a Twitter.
He does.
Well, of course
he does. He said this a couple days ago. He said
Derek looked in the mirror and said, "Oh shit, I shouldn't have a Twitter handle with my own face."
Yeah, but this was in response to a question from Neil Bench, who said, "Cool Cat, what are your thoughts on global warming?"
Oh my god.
It was clearly just trolling here.
Yeah, it was.
But I'm excited
and
about
I want to
it.
quote this here. So Cool Cat says, "Global warming is a big lie designed to scare people. The world will freeze before it burns. Man has no control over the world's natural changes. It's colder in the morning than at noon," quoted Derek Savage.
What?
Now, here is what our response was.
Oh, what did we say, Brian? How did I miss this, by the way?
I don't know. You got to follow Twitter.
I know. I'm behind.
I'm accidentally using our Twitter handle for political posts every once in a while.
Oopsie.
I mean, oopsie.
We're all on the same page.
But anyway, our response was, I didn't know Daddy Derek was a climate scientist between his careers as a, quote, filmmaker, quote, author, and, quote, male model.
Let's just tweet him real quick.
Okay, cool.
Oh, shit. Here we go. What do you know, you're not holding your microphone, by the way.
She's got me. That's how I told her to bring it over.
Okay.
Cool Cat. What do we do about genocide?
This is a live tweet. Are you doing this from the Psycho Show Twitter?
No, it's from the real Jay Wolf.
Oh, of course it is.
Retweet. Love and kisses. Okay, so Cool Cat, what do we do about genocide? Please retweet.
But
love and
okay,
kisses.
what specific genocide? Are you just saying genocide in general?
Yeah, general genocide.
General genocide. Okay.
Gen.
And send.
And he sent it, folks. Excellent.
Oh,
I mean, the world
Genocide isn't real.
there's a lot to say here, but I love that he was like, the world will freeze before it burns, and like all of Australia has literally been on fire.
Yeah, I was
like,
gonna say.
nonstop.
I was gonna say, like, again, at what time does Derek Savage have the time to study climate and come to that conclusion?
I mean, he didn't.
Well,
That's my point.
He didn't
not
study
studying
shit.
doesn't stop him from making movies.
Yeah, I get that. I just,
so
I know
bad.
it's not part of 2019 discussion, but I
It
thought
should
it was
be. Well,
Thank
hilarious.
you for that. That was
But
actually
it just
a nice
was
little present that we
hilarious.
got, yeah.
It should be.
Yeah. So anyway, back to movies.
And back to 2019.
Back to
Guys,
2019.
actually, we can finish this entire episode right now. Disney. Lane, what's your handle on Twitter?
Seriously. But I mean, like, a lot
Okay.
of shit happened.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, Disney bought 20th Century Fox.
Well, hold
and
on. We're gonna get there. You know, you're sound like you're about to run off a lot of
I got
stories real quick.
excited. Well, I was
We're
going to
gonna
talk.
go one
I was
by
going to
one.
talk about that. I was just going to talk about that.
Yeah, the problem is, folks, I promise you, we're not obsessed with Disney, but Disney has taken over the world, and most of the news stories I found revolved around Disney in some way, shape, or form. So I apologize, but that's
Yeah.
how Disney has
Or
shaped
money.
the world. Yeah.
It's true.
So yeah, Lane, 20th Century Fox was bought by Disney. So
And I feel like that's a really big deal, like, that people didn't really talk about. And, like, you can call me and John, like, tinfoil hat, you know, paranoids, but
Yeah.
John and I mean, because we're married and we have chats, and he's lovely to chat with. We've had multiple conversations about.
everyone would agree with that, but yeah.
I like you. I promised in front of all of our friends that I'd be with you forever. But I think that, you know, it seems a little paranoid, but like John and I have been big proponents of getting things on disc and not just buying everything digitally.
Yeah.
And I think this is why, because a lot of the ramifications of these sales, like Disney can limit what's released and when it's released and if you can own it. And that seems very wrong to me.
Oh, and for no reason, they're taking things off of Disney Plus. Like, here's the reason. Netflix, the reason that they do that is they lose contracts. Like,
Yes.
Their time.
Netflix,
Yeah.
unless they make it themselves, they buy the rights for a little bit and then they lose them. Like, Disney owns this stuff. There's no reason for them to take it off of Disney Plus.
Exactly.
Unless to be assholes. It's the Disney vault.
Well, yeah, I
over again.
was exactly going to
Yes.
say that. That's the same shit they used
So
to
smart,
do
guys.
with the VHS tapes. They'd say, "Oh, well, Cinderella is only going to be out here now. You better get it now before it's gone forever." And we're like, What do you mean it's gone forever? You
Yeah.
made the movie, assholes. You made the movie. It's sitting in your fucking vault.
You better hope
So-
that some guy's got a bootleg copy of Cinderella. Here you go.
And it's like, no, that's not what you're going to do. You're going to wait 10 years, bring it out again, sell it.
Yeah.
Good men died to get you this copy of Cinderella.
Upcharge it.
You're
Yeah.
going to upcharge it, and then do it again and repeat, rinse and repeat. So I honestly don't understand why it's not a big enough story, because that's massive. I mean, really, if you're thinking about it, what's left? You've got maybe Warner Brothers, Sony,
Not for long with Sony,
and that's
though,
it.
right?
Well, yeah.
Warner Brothers and Sony. Yeah,
Paramount's a subsidiary. Yeah. So
Paramount's subsidiary of Sony. So it's basically Warner Brothers, Sony, and Disney.
And that's and that's not right. Like,
No.
sucks, man.
And what I find hilarious is just that there are some people who are cheering this on. Like, don't get me wrong, from a certain standpoint, I think that it's good that Marvel is taking back ownership of some of their properties, okay? And creating movies in their universe.
But I'll just cut you off.
Okay,
on that.
that's cool.
Because I don't think Marvel's not taking back control of anything. Marvel is a comic book company. They've never lost the control of anything. The Disney-owned Marvel brand movie studio is taking more of its intellectual properties back to make more Disney money.
But if you go back to the history of this, Marvel was in a bad way in the late 90s, early 2000s, so they sold a lot of the film rights to companies like Fox and to other companies out there to basically they didn't go belly recoup
up.
some money.
Yeah.
Because they were going to go belly up. So I think because of the MCU taking off, I think it's good to try to incorporate some of those, because it is a cohesive universe. It's not like they exist on their own and not in a shared universe in the comic books, and it makes sense to do it in the movies. We've seen it work. So I get that, and I think that's great. On the other side of it, though, you now have it where the most recent news I saw was that Disney is completely getting rid of the Fox name from any future productions. Like, they're now calling it 20th Century Studios instead of 20th Century Fox. So it's not even like they're going to be...
Yeah.
So it's not even like it's going to be like, well, we're going to keep the legacy of the Fox name.
Well, what did Orwell...
Well, why would they?
But that's my point, is we're not even going to try to keep the legacy. We're not even going to say, you know what? Yes, it's a subsidiary of ours now, but we're going to keep it because of the legacy of what 20th Century Fox means. No, fuck you. We're going to wipe that clean too.
Well,
And Disney-fy it.
What did George Orwell say? The war's not meant to be won or lost; it's meant to be continuous. And if the idea is that it goes on for so long that you start to forget that there ever was a world without the war.
Yeah.
Right.
And yeah, they want you to basically forget there was ever a world without Disney owning everything.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
I imagine, like, on Disney Plus right now, is it the 20th Century Fox thing? Because I don't have Disney Plus yet. Like, first New Hope and Empire, does it have the 20th Century Fox opening?
It does.
Yeah, how long before they take that off?
Yeah.
Give it a year.
Yeah.
It's true.
I've always known this.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't understand why it's not a big enough story. Why there isn't more eyeballs on it? And maybe it's just because
That's what I'm saying. It's
the
a big
world has
deal.
become so fucking cynical that it's
Yeah,
where
well, we have everything in one place now, and they're going to make
Yeah.
a Birdman TV show. Or not Birdman. Falcon TV show.
yeah. I mean, it
Close
is
enough.
Birdman.
Yeah.
I liked your self-loathing when you got it wrong.
Yeah.
No, but I think part of it is just the nature of our media, the nature of the content we consume has been so conglomerized, basically. Where it's now like, oh, it's no big deal. It's no big deal that they
Right.
bought that. Think about the fact that you basically have two companies that aren't related in media that own all of the media. that you consume.
Yeah, I just don't think it's a good idea. I think it is going to change creativity. I think
Comcast,
it's gonna...
GE, Verizon. That's it. You know.
Yeah,
Hey, did you guys like Seinfeld and Friends? Well, take a look out for the Peacock coming soon. NBC's new streaming service.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Is that seriously what they're doing now?
Yep.
They all are.
CBS All Access started the
this
TV
is fucking
cable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's cable.
Cable all over again.
but it's 10,000 fucking things at once, so that we can all just sit and consume.
Plus cable.
Yeah,
and so we
plus
all sit
cable.
and consume, and so that our generation doesn't run for office and things just stay the way they are. Sorry, I got like real hateful. I'm sorry.
Well, there's a lot of negativity here, but speaking of buying things
Yeah.
and the negativity to continue, how about the whole Sony Disney Spider-Man thing?
You know, good for Sony.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna like root for Sony because they're hardly like a little guy, but you know what I mean. Like, good
Yeah.
for them,
Yeah.
like for actually not just kowtowing to the
I don't know.
mouse.
At the time, I thought that Sony was kind of being petty, but thinking about it, I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, if you punch the numbers and you look at them, you realize that Disney was getting so much from this. Because Sony still put up the profits and still put up the production of every
Yes.
Spider-Man movie. And
Right.
that was, Sony based of Far From Home and Homecoming. But Disney still got profits off of that. And then Disney had the rights to use in the Avengers movies and stuff that character that Sony had the rights to and created for exactly whatever they wanted and took all of the profits.
What was I going to say?
Right.
Wasn't it that Sony then got all the merchandising money from it?
did they? That I don't remember. I don't
think
remember
that's
the nuts and
split,
bolts.
actually.
Oh, it was a split.
Yeah, and-
either way, like Sony
So
was.
Disney's making out like
yeah.
bandits, and they decided that it wasn't good enough when they already own the world. And Sony said, how about this? Fuck you and suck our balls.
Suck our balls.
Suck our balls.
Yeah, suck our Spidey balls. You want a web in your mouth? Yeah. And Disney didn't like it, and then they sent out Robert Downey Jr. and Tom Holland to do a video like, please don't take our Spider-Man away.
And as I said,
Yeah.
I'll be the first one to say it. I bought into it. I did.
It was kind of a clever thing because, I didn't want to see Spider-Man, because now he was in this world, taken away from the MCU just because it would be confusing. The character just suddenly disappeared. But at the same time, like, if you look at it from a purely business standpoint, Sony wasn't wrong here.
Right.
You know, they lent Spider-Man to Disney, and then Disney tried to basically take it over.
Yeah.
And they said, no, thank you. And the deal they ended up getting wasn't great, but I have heard rumors that Disney is now looking to spend $6 billion to buy Spider-Man.
Whoa.
Jesus
shit.
Christ.
That's
Which
crazy.
a lot of insiders have punched the numbers. Do you want to know how long that would take for Disney for that to turn profitable? 2.5 years.
What?
Because
That's no time at all.
because it's not just Spider-Man.
It's all
They'll
the
reboot
ancillary
Venom
characters.
Yeah, and all the different universe characters. They can make 3 movies a year, and in 2 years they've made their money back. Now Sony has wanted as high as $10 billion, and they don't know if Disney's going to budge on that.
Right.
Because the idea is, look, we've had some trouble negotiating in the past. Why don't you just buy Spider-Man for $10 billion? And they're like, oh, that's a little high for my blood. Like, really, you own the world, So there is a chance that they might just buy, they buy him like they did everybody else.
I just love how the mouse is who goes into all the negotiating.
Look here, fucker!
My God.
Don't fucking piss me off!
I know people.
I know people.
Oh, if your knee is broken!
Oh, my.
Oh, and speaking of somebody's knees getting taken out from under them, I fired James Gunn this year.
That was a big story, John. What a good transition.
Wow. Yeah. And that blew the fuck up in their faces, didn't it?
Oh, yeah.
And we're not anti-Disney, but here's going to be the anti-Disney continuing train of negativity. What a bunch of
fine.
cowards.
Oh, absolutely.
And the thing is, what was even worse? They just laid low and didn't say anything until it all blew over and then rehired him.
That's because they were pussies.
I think they probably called James Gunn into the room and said, look, you got to go for a little bit, and we'll bring you
No,
back.
I don't think they even did that. I think it was called they saw the atmosphere, and they saw what the atmosphere was. And you know what? They probably did look at it and go like, yeah, that right-wing asshole did bait him and did kind of blow this up bigger than it should have been. And they never looked at context. They never looked at the time. They never looked at the history. They just saw the atmosphere and made a jerk move on the atmosphere only.
Yeah.
Which is what tends to happen. Now, sometimes that's warranted, and then sometimes it's an overreaction without looking at the context. James Gunn said, 10 years ago, I was a fucking asshole.
Yeah. And I made a bunch
10
of
years ago, I
really
said
bad jokes that weren't funny, but this isn't a question of whether they were funny. It's whether they were, that I was promoting pedophilia, which I wasn't.
It's
it
like
was shock value.
The guy came out of trauma. What the fuck do you think he's going to say?
Yeah.
Like, have you seen Lloyd Kaufman? Have you seen the things that he puts on his Twitter?
Yeah.
The things that he says in his movies? It's not out of the range of that. It's like, I'm sorry that he got successful enough that he ended up helming one of the biggest franchises out there, and did a great job.
Yeah, those Twitter posts weren't funny, but I'll tell you the jokes in Guardians are.
Yeah. I was going to say, but it brought up a lot of conversation of, does your history have to follow you?
Well, also...
that's what I looked at it as.
It's also...
Can people change?
It's a manipulative game. Like, a bunch of, the alt-right Republicans said, well, if people are coming after us for our racist, sexist, homophobic, messages, emails, Twitters, letters that we wrote, whatever, back in the day before social media, why don't we go after the liberals for anything they possibly said that could be misconstrued into something awful and ruin them?
I think the difference is that those alt-right motherfuckers still believe the shit that they posted 10 years ago.
But the things that,
you know what I mean?
The liberals have been attacked on are clearly out of context or jokes or things that miss the point.
Even if it's something to the realm of they may have believed that 10, 15 years ago. You talk to someone like that and you call them out on it, and they generally, for the most part, say, I was mistaken. I was wrong. They own it.
Absolutely.
And that's the difference. That's the thing that people don't quite understand.
In a weird way, they lose the game.
They lose the game.
This is a sad, giant game.
Yeah.
That's what it is. They lose the game and say, you know what? I said some stupid things. I was wrong. I was an idiot. And James Gunn has said that over and over and over again, ad nauseum. I was stupid. I'd said some stupid things. I was wrong. At what point have you found any right-wing motherfucker saying, I was wrong? Those words, I was wrong.
Yeah.
Never. They never admit fault. Never admit that what they think and what they say could be, I don't know, wrong or offensive. It's, well, you're wrong for thinking that I'm wrong.
Well,
that's the difference.
That one guy, I can't remember his name now, but he was Pittsburgh.
We all say stupid things. That's the things.
Right.
Yeah. But the one guy, I can't remember his name, but he's Pittsburgh's own, the comedian that got on SNL and then was immediately booted off.
Oh,
SNL.
yeah.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
wanna be
Thing
his
is,
friend.
he's like, I'm a conservative comedian, and they came after me. It's like, here's the thing. Jokes are jokes, but what you were saying were attacks on Asians and homosexuals. They weren't jokes. They were racist and and sexist and homophobic. Like, the things that you weren't allowed on SNL for weren't billed as jokes. They didn't have a setup and punchline. You were just attacking Asian people.
Right.
It's and there's a difference. James Gunn wrote some really bad shock value humor.
Yeah, because he thought it was funny.
Yeah. Oh, this people are gonna be like, oh my god, you're so insane. And the jokes sucked, but that's not the point.
Well, and two, I mean, I think that the greater, overall point, because I feel like we're getting a little wee bit sidetracked, but I think the greater overall point from what we learned from the deal with James Gunn is there's no incentive to be better if you're going to be punished for things that you thought and apologize for 10 years ago.
Exactly.
So I think we're getting a little down the political path, which I don't mind, but it's for a different podcast.
Yeah, but of course, Disney fired James Gunn
and then rehired him.
Yeah, and then rehired him.
And I'm not convinced that all didn't just happen just to create headlines and just to create some bullshit.
No,
he wouldn't have done the Suicide Squad if
yeah, it's true.
I think it's called enough of the actors in the Guardians films.
Well, and thank God.
were
I mean, like,
furious
Thank you,
of
Dave
it.
Batista.
yeah, Dave
seriously.
Batista was like the first one, and
He
of
was
course,
like, "Fuck this shit. Why don't you find another guy?" It's like, find another guy that's as muscular as me.
right? Well, and then like coward
can
Chris
act.
Pratt. Didn't Chris Pratt like do absolutely nothing?
Oh, no,
too?
he's a coward, yeah.
He's a fucking coward. I'm not a big Chris Pratt.
He went
fan.
and he prayed about it.
Ew. Oh. And like, listen, that sounds bad because I'm not shitting on anybody that, that has religion. Like, I
Right, thank you
respect
for
people's
clarifying
beliefs.
this, but-
What's gross about that, just look up Chris Pratt. His like church has been very weird, and like his whole like he's
I
like
didn't
in
know
a,
any of this.
he's in like a very weird like culty kind of church.
Yeah, I'm not
didn't know
yucking
this.
your religious yum
No,
here. I'm
no.
coming after Chris Pratt.
Yeah, it's just Chris Pratt, and like there's been instances of like where his church has been like very damaging, and like
Oh wow.
he's not
I
solid
didn't
citizen.
know any of that.
So yeah, to be clear, John's not shitting on religion, and neither was I. Just Chris Pratt just seems to be like not a good guy.
Not a good guy.
Yeah, but speaking of damaging feelings, Martin Scorsese came after Marvel movies this year.
Oh my
You are the
god.
king of transitions, my friend.
And here's the thing. He's not wrong. He was talking about...
Do you want to give a kind of a for the layman who may have not have heard this story? What did specifically did Scorsese say?
Well, there's what he said, and then there's what, Disney and Marvel said that he said.
Yeah.
He basically said that, in so many words, paraphrasing, one studio shouldn't have a monopoly on everything, and that your movie theater shouldn't have 7 to 8 out of its 10 screens full of comic book movies run by the same company, and it's killing original ideas in art and in the medium, because all you have is these blockbuster tentpoles on every screen, and other movies, independent movies, art movies, thoughtful movies, new ideas can't get on to the screen, and you don't go to see those ones because Ant-Man and Wasp 9 is playing on 35 fucking screens.
And
Tell
he's
you
not
what,
wrong.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd won't look a day older. Yeah,
It's the quantum realm. It keeps you young.
Quantum realm.
And honestly, not even just talking about, an art movie as compared to a comic book movie. It kills comic book movies too. You don't get any interesting takes on comic book movies because now they're all owned by Disney, and they all have to follow the Feige model.
Do you guys
model.
know how sick of Marvel movies I am? Like of comic book movies? Like I'm over it.
Honestly, and I think that's one of the big feelings I have for 2019 is
I'm exhausted.
I never thought that I would be completely burnt the fuck out.
Right? I am. I totally am,
Superhero
Brian.
films. And I'm someone who loves superhero films. Now, I completely agree with what Scorsese's saying.
Oh, wait, you're burnt out on comic book films?
Yeah.
Enjoy in 3 weeks our review of Harley Quinn and the amazing
Birds of Prey.
Immaculation turds of
Turds of Prey.
Yeah.
Shut up. Get out of here.
Sorry, what you were saying?
I just
So
I
excited.
feel that the medium itself is homogenized enough. Like film itself, popular film, is for the most part homogenized.
Yeah.
There's very rarely any time that you're going to get a film that diverts from the model. And when you put superhero films in it, and when superhero films kind of take up majority of the space, they're homogenized even more than just what the normal everyday mainstream film is. And
Right.
I keep going back to this. I know I say this all the time whenever we talk about the state of movies. There really is something to TV kind of being the gem in our
Streaming
media.
services,
Streaming
television.
service.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's what I'm saying. And maybe it is because that, us as consumers of media really need to have some outlet that isn't Ant-Man 9 or
Seriously.
Avengers Infinity Endgame 50.
Love that one.
I know.
That one was in 70.
I know.
70.
Basically, they had employees at the movie theater smacking you in the face.
They're smacking you in the face, and other employees jerking you off. I mean,
Whoa.
You got to pay extra for that. You got to get your jerk goggles.
I don't know what
Wow.
theater did I go to. But
Guys are
anyway,
yucky.
there is something to saying that we need an outlet where we are getting some original content, and I think that is the streaming services. I think that is TV.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've always been a fan of the longer format. Like I've been a fan of TV since I was a kid. I mean, I loved my stories.
Well, if anything, too, like, is there any format that's built better for long-form storytelling than things that are based on comic books? That's what comic books are. They're long-form storytelling.
Right, but I mean, I'm talking about like long-form, like actual original programming.
Right.
I feel like in this age, too. With,
I'm going the other end of it.
Right, but I'm saying with like, especially with like comic book movies and stuff now, like everything is kind of derivative of something else.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like and there is a lot of, long form that's derivative of other things. Like, I mean, I'm so excited for the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina season 3 to come out this Friday. But, or like too, like even like The Witcher, I mean, that's a big thing on Netflix right now. That's taken from something else. But I mean, like there's a lot of unique programming as well.
Yeah, you get things like The Mandalorian, which I know you guys haven't seen it yet.
And it's again based on
but
Star Wars.
It's based on Star Wars.
I'm not crazy about the idea of a baby Yoda. It
but,
pisses me off.
But here's the thing, though. I mean, it is
original.
It's original in its approach. Mm-hmm. It's refreshing from the standpoint of you're so... Like we talked about this on our Rise of Skywalker episode last week. You're so burnt out on that formula that's in the theaters, that formula that Star Wars has had for at least 20 years, and you just want something fresh and something that is not the same blow up, explosion, every 5 seconds bullshit. Mm-hmm. And The Mandalorian does answer that. I will say that. And is it derivative? Absolutely. It's literally derivative of Westerns. But guess what? Star Wars, the original, is derivative from a Western.
How dare you
speak of Star Wars this way?
But it's true. But it's absolutely true. So, I don't want to belabor the point, but I mean, absolutely, I'm completely kind of burnt out on superhero films.
Well,
me too.
And Scorsese's not wrong.
Well, Brian, it makes perfect sense what you're saying about like cable, streaming services, things like that. There are unlimited options that way, and whenever you want to watch them that way, there's only so many screens at a movie theater. The smallest ones have 2 to 4. The biggest ones have like 12, 15, whatever, depending on how large.
17 plex.
There's only so many options when you go out to a movie theater. Like if Disney Plus wants to put all their comic book and Star Wars things onto their network, cool. Make as many as you fucking want,
right?
Because I can watch those whenever and however I want. Yeah. But I can't go see, The Lighthouse at my movie theater because the new Star Wars movies everywhere.
I think the other side of the two is that the movie theaters only make so much money from the actual film.
And Disney wants more of it, by the way.
Oh, of course they do. Yeah. What they make the most money off of are concessions. Mm-hmm. They're not making it off the ticket sales. They're, for the most part, making it off of concessions.
I believe
so. If you're a theater owner, you want to put in a movie that is obviously going to draw the most people to the theater because those are the people who are going to buy your popcorn and your nachos and your sodas. Okay, so if you put the Irishman out there, how many people is that going to draw?
3.5 hours about old Italians. Let's go see the new superhero
Or if
movie.
you put The Lighthouse out there, how many people is that going to draw? But if I put Avengers Endgame on 10 screens in 3D, I'm not going to make shit off the tickets. But you know what I am going to get for at least the next 3 to 4 weekends? I'm going to get literally my whole amount for the whole year in popcorn and jujubes and Snickers and all that stuff sales. So like that's the thing too, is that the business is built to support these larger films, these larger tentpoles, because that's the only way the theaters can make money.
And even movies like that take about, so what I was about to say a second ago, I got excited, was they take about 6 weeks to turn any level of profit.
Yeah,
and because they pay to have these movies at the theater, and they started.
That's the thing too. They're paying already out the ads for it.
It's like when a movie rental store back in the day, they would buy copies of the film. They needed to rent it like 16 times for it to turn profitable. So when they have Police Academy 8, I mean, trust me, the Moscow one, that one's making money now. Because everybody's renting Police Academy 8.
That's right. That's right.
But it's so Martin Scorsese isn't wrong, but they sent out their goons. Like
Disney did.
Yeah, because
of course it did.
Chris Evans says, "Boo-hoo, Martin Scorsese, why don't you want me to play in my sandbox?" And Robert Downey Jr. says, I've been to jail 3 times, but I'm everyone's dad. Like, why did you do this to me? I thought we were friends. I'm Iron Man. And everybody's like, yeah, we love these Marvel movies. Fuck you, Martin Scorsese.
I don't think anyone has... You can love the Marvel films and still agree with Scorsese.
Yeah, check mark, check mark.
I was going to say...
I enjoy these Marvel movies a lot, too, but he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. Go to the theater sometime. Look at the posters. Look at what's in the theaters. It is, for the most part, the same shit. It's this movie part 5 or this movie, the remake of some other movie that was, 10 years ago original or 15 years ago original. It's all derivative and homogenized, and there's nothing really there that is new. And every once in a while, when you do have one that's new, the pressure is always on that single movie that has that original idea to somehow carry the shoulder, save indie cinema, save this industry. And honestly, I think it's literally the stacks it's stacked against it. And of course, the minute that movie loses money, because it doesn't have the budget to market as crazy as the Marvel films do, automatically it's you're not allowed to do original content anymore. Can't have original movies anymore. Because obviously they don't make any money. It's a flop.
Disney has a cult of personality. It's like, Martin Scorsese came after us. Let's go get our fans. Hey, fans. Yeah. Do you love Star Wars? Yeah, quite a bit. Do you love it more than anyone ever? Okay, yes. Then go kill Martin Scorsese. Kill him. It's like,
this got dark.
If you don't kill him, then you don't love Star Wars more than anyone.
Are you saying that a bunch of neck beards with plastic lightsabers are going to stalk Scorsese in New York?
Go get him!
Listen, I've heard weirder.
Look down, he's only 5'4".
I have heard weirder.
See gangs of neck beards struggling to run. Holding their Kylo Ren plastic lightsaber.
Come back here, you fast little Catholic.
Oh my God.
Wow. Oh, my little legs will take me farther than you think.
Shit. All right.
Hey, guys, maybe we're wrong. Maybe Disney hasn't completely taken over the whole world. Maybe people go see an eclectic group of movies. Now, after saying that, let me see what my final news story is. Avengers Endgame is the highest grossing movie of all time. Oops.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
I saw it coming.
Yeah.
Saw it coming.
Well, and everybody, I promise next year we'll have more than Disney, hopefully more than Disney stories, but these were the big news stories of the year. Yeah. Disney monopolized the media landscape in terms of stories.
It's true.
But yeah, this movie was re-released twice, right? Just to beat Avatar, because second place isn't good enough.
No, and it's only about the record breaking and the money, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah, like, how pathetic are you? Like, we're going to re-release it twice, and we're going to do, like, 4D things, and and we're going to send it in IMAX theaters, and, and China, you're getting it again, or whatever, just so we can pass it by $100.
Yep.
I don't know why Avatar was the highest grossing film of all time anyways, but that's another story for another time.
I think it's just James Cameron is James Cameron.
James Cameron.
James Cameron. But yeah, I mean, I get why it was this high, and it's absolutely, I think, warranted, to be perfectly honest with you. It's
right.
The culmination of a series is 10 years old.
Yeah, 20 films later. Yeah.
So
it was a feat.
It was a feat, and you cannot poo-poo the feat, unless you're into that sort of
thing. Tarantino never does.
Unless you're into that sort of thing. But I think definitely it's great that Avengers Endgame reached this much money. It's warranted. It was a feat in of itself to keep a consistency. But what makes me laugh is just that. Again, we talked about this on Rise of Skywalker. This was 20 movies trying to maintain a continuity between 20 films and stick the landing, but the same studio couldn't do the same thing for 3 fucking films.
It's true.
That baffles me how
3 movies,
10
same
years.
Studio. Same studio.
Calm down.
Brian's so upset. Oh my God, you even scared the dog.
Sorry, Archie.
Over 10 years. They made 20 films that there are plot holes galore, but but they all sync together in this perfect, brilliant, masterful plan, but they couldn't make 3 Star Wars movies. And it's so clear that they never had a plan for these Star Wars movies at all.
Just like the originals.
Well, let's just go fucking pump out a script. Hope that it doesn't fuck everything up.
Oh wait, it fucked everything up. Well, let's try to
Oopsie.
double back and make it
people.
better.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
oh god, it's worse. It's like when you add too much salt to a dish, it just becomes salt.
Well, but that's enough about Disney. Let's talk about the highest grossing movies of 2019. Oh, would you look at that? Domestically, Disney had 8 of the top 10.
God damn it.
Yeah.
So I feel I need to point this out, by the way, too, of the highest grossing domestic movies. Disney made $3.7 billion domestically.
I'm just going to go back to bed with the dog.
billion?
Is that cool?
Yeah, domestically.
I'm just going
This
to
is
go lie
not
down.
worldwide.
I'm going to go lie down.
Of the top 10, there was only one R-rated film.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So number 10 was It Chapter 2. There's your R-rated movie.
Got it.
That was a surprising hit. Domestically, that was $211.5 million.
It's a lot of money.
Joker surprised all of us, I think, by $333 million. That's a lot of threes.
It was a good movie.
Yeah.
I like Joker.
It was very good. Yeah, I agreed. And then here's where we get into that weird Disney remake bullshit. Aladdin. Made $355 million.
It was so
domestically.
bad. It was
so
terrible.
They really need to stop doing these.
Will Smith
like,
has never been worse, and that's really
live
saying
action.
something.
But they really need to stop doing these live action remakes of their classic films.
Agreed.
For all of you actuallys out there, please don't at me. I made this list about a week and a half ago.
Actually.
So this one is
You were
probably
wrong.
higher, but I had at the time Rise of Skywalker at $362 million.
I can't imagine it's made too much.
But it probably
in the
is
last-
up to
it's
4
really
something
dropped
now.
off. you
Yeah.
know?
Maybe 405 or I don't know. Spider-Man Far From Home, $390 million.
Noise.
And for those, if you guys go back to listen to my summer box office predictions, it's exactly where I had it.
Not that we're proud of ourselves or anything.
Oh, no, I'm not, because some of them I was so fucking far off. It was ridiculous.
Some of them you were wrong.
I was off by like $200 million.
That's all right.
Captain Marvel made a surprising $426 million with all of its alt-right trolls trying to kill it. Still made nearly-
And it also not being like a fantastic movie.
It
No, it
wasn't
was not.
fantastic, but it also wasn't
It wasn't
terrible.
horrible.
I liked it.
Isn't that
I liked
terrible?
it.
Where like that's the benchmark for
Don't get me wrong, like,
big
most
movies now,
Marvel
like,
movies.
I didn't mind
was
it. I thought it
fine.
was okay.
Didn't make me mad.
Frozen 2, $403 million. And
course.
counting, I guess.
Well, yeah, and two, that was a late entry into the
Yep.
year because
Yeah.
that came out in
Yep.
November.
Well, you make probably the first 6 weeks, you're going to make 99% of your profit.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So-
That's fair.
Toy Story 4, I guess the train never stops. $434 million here. I almost said
like a-
billion.
Like a
What a movie!
like a GD nerd, I got it out from the library.
And this one actually hurts me inside. Lion King was the second highest grossing domestic film at $543 million.
You saw it, didn't you?
Yeah, I had to. I had to know.
Why?
I had to know. Plus, I needed something from my worst of the year list.
Fair.
And
You
I
got
wasn't-
Lion King next to Cats,
That was-
which I don't, did you guys see it already?
I saw Cats, yeah.
Oh no!
Yeah, he did.
Oh,
And-
you're a better person than me.
And
Always.
Avengers Endgame, $858 million domestically, nearly $1 billion in our great 50 states.
Oh,
Yeah.
And here now things are a little different for our highest grossing worldwide. Number 10, Hobbs and Shaw, $758 million.
surprised me.
This
That
Fast and the
really
Furious
surprised
franchise
me.
will never die.
Dude, it's both Fast and Furious. How can it?
It's gonna be Fast and
Oh,
12 Fast, 13 Furious. They just put the two of them together.
You can do worse than stare at the rock for 2 hours.
That's true. I used to do it every Monday night. Star Wars, Paycheck of Skywalker, 800.
He's been calling it that for like 3 weeks, and I'm like, I'm into it at this point.
You shouldn't throw away a Jedi's weapon.
I'm looking at
Mark-
you, Ryan.
Mark, why are you breathing like that? Because I'm old.
I'm telling you, he's not fat in real life. He just chunked up for, Luke.
But that was $851 million at the time of this list. I think it has surpassed $1 billion. So sorry for my outdated list here. Speaking of surpassing $1 billion, Aladdin with Will Smith.
Because, fuck you.
That barely passed the $1 billion marker. So did The Joker. Barely passed $1 billion. Toy Story, $1.07 billion.
Jesus.
So you're wondering why Disney gets all this money here. Captain Marvel, $1.1 billion. Mm-hmm. Spider-Man, because it all sounds like from the same company, $1.13 billion. Frozen 2, at the time of writing this, so it should even be higher, $1.24 billion.
It's at 1.4.
Is it at 1.4? Wow.
Yeah. 1.4.
Lion King, $1.65 billion.
Yep.
Because we all just, remember Lion King? Remember Simba? Remember Mufasa? Remember Mufasa so much they didn't recast Mufasa?
Dude, how?
Or Scar.
Listen.
Take that, Matthew Broderick. You're forgettable, but
whatever. You cannot replace James Earl Jones. I'm sorry. Do you remember when he came?
They didn't with what's his face from Spider-Man, J.K. Simmons.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They put him in Far From Home.
Yeah, but he was like bald and
He's
not
basically
looking-
Alex Jones.
yeah,
in
it was
that
like
movie.
he doesn't look like J.K. I thought they were gonna like put him in. I thought they were gonna put him in the wig and everything. And it's like, what the shit is this?
And Avengers, $2.79 billion, your highest grossing film of all goddamn time, unless
So
you adjust for
much
inflation,
money.
and it's Gone with the Wind.
So much money.
So Disney had 8 of the top 10 again worldwide, and Disney's profit worldwide this year on their films alone, $9.4 billion.
I'm pretty sure that could like end world hunger.
That's like a country, yeah. It's some certain countries.
like
How much money was it?
$9.4 billion.
That's still not as much as Jeff Bezos' net worth.
Oh, well,
Oh, good. Good to know.
Of course,
I'll buy you, asshole.
give it time. Of course, discount Lex Luthor would have more money.
He's so bad.
He's so horrible.
He is discount Lex
So
Luthor.
you said how much was the figure you just did, John?
Well, 9.4. So considering that this list is a
9.4.
little out of date, it's probably 9.6, 9.7.
That is still more money than both Mark Cuban and Richard Branson's net worth. That's still more money than that. Jeff Bezos is worth $115.6 billion.
Discount Lex Luthor.
And yet.
That's all right. Enough about Disney. Let's talk about something more chipper.
Sure.
People who died.
You are incredible.
Oh my God, you and your deaths.
So, okay, this is going to sound like a horrible thing to say,
I mean, when's that
but
ever
I'm going to
stop,
say it
too?
anyways. There was not like a lot of big names that died this year.
That's good. That's a
it
good
was-
thing.
when Luke Perry is the biggest name to die, like
Well, I
you know,
think it was the hit to the gut of people that
Yeah.
Luke Perry died.
he shouldn't have-
because
he was like
well,
50-something.
Well, that's the thing is,
yeah, he had a heart attack.
he had
right?
a heart attack, but really he's 50-something years old. Heart attacks do affect people who are 50-something years old.
I suppose. You know what was a real shame about that though? Like I just read up on it like when it happened and he was just a genuinely good human being. Like he did a
Yep.
lot of philanthropy, he was a good friend.
Yep.
He was just a good person. He was like real humble and like was very like down to earth and everything. Like I think that's a real shame.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just like the fact that the world lost a good soul more than anything else.
And
you know?
I think people did think like, oh well, he's so young. It's like, yeah, but 56 is you can still get a heart attack.
It's
at
not like he was
56.
20.
It's not like he was 20.
Right.
But I think people had this image in their head
Well, yeah, because
of him as being 20.
right, and I think that that's fascinating because when you do see actors and you see them in their original stuff, especially something as like branded and like pop culture-y as like 90210, because you see those images like all the time. I mean, Christ, we've watched their Christmas specials from time to time. You kind of
I try to forget that I watched the Christmas
you
special.
kind of forget, like, I think you can forget, though, the age that they are now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, because I'll see a movie and I'll have, like, an actor in my head one way, and then I'll see, like, a recent photo of them, and I'm like, bah! Like, you forget that there's actual aging processes.
Yep.
I mean, except for, like, women, apparently, because Jennifer Lopez still looks amazing.
and Elizabeth Hurley.
And Elizabeth Hurley.
We might have discussed this before the show. But I think that that's like part of what's weird about the death of Luke Perry, because you're right, Brian. I think everybody thinks of him as 20 still.
Yep.
Unless you watch Riverdale, in which case DILF. That's actually a joke. One of the
Are you saying like you watch Riverdale and you tell John you need to leave the house?
Yeah. One of the characters
Leave the room.
One of the characters actually says, "You're looking very DILFy today." To Luke Perry's character. It's incredible.
Yeah. What kind of world do we live in where Luke Perry dies, but Jason Priestley gets to keep on moving?
Hey, Jason Priestley, he did nothing to you. My God.
Come at me, Priestley.
Wow, you are the worst.
I just kidding, Jay. You know we're homies.
I apologize for my husband, as always.
But yeah, Doris Day passed away this year. A little more age appropriate.
Well, she's a big name. My gosh, she's iconic. You know.
From more of the golden age of Hollywood. Carol Channing passed away. Albert Finney, who was no spring chicken. So at least these people were of the right age, but not of the right age. John Singleton, who I'm a huge fan of.
Yeah,
the great director,
that was
great
like
writer.
right after. What's his face died? Not Priestley.
Luke Perry. Yeah,
Perry. That was like right after. It's early in the morning.
Yes,
folks.
It is.
I like that silence. We're all trying to
what's Brian saying?
And I tell you, Disney didn't have the balls to kill him, but God sure did. Chewbacca died. Peter Mayhew.
Why would you say
that?
What? Oh, so what?
Why did you say that?
Okay.
Come on, man.
What? He's an unloving God who would take our Chewie away.
I mean, can we talk about how also Peter Mayhew was like a gentle spirit and like a wonderful man?
Yeah.
All right, why don't you say something nice?
Okay.
All right.
He was a gentle spirit and a loving man.
Oh my God, what is wrong with you?
I just want to tell our audience that none of this is ever like planned.
No.
And it's not scripted.
Even we don't know what he's
so
going to say.
quite literally, like the reactions you're getting, it's not like we have a team of writers who
wish.
are writing John's jokes.
John would be the whole
and
team
his
of writers, let's
isms.
be
He
real.
quite literally just shoots from the hip.
He nails it.
What the fuck, man? Come on.
No, I heard he's a very nice man, but God decided to take him because he hates us.
John, please move on.
Okay. All right. Keith Flint of Prodigy passed away.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
A little on the younger side. Peter Tork, who is the Peter Tork of the Monkees.
Wow.
passed
Okay.
away. Well, I think, you got your Davy Jones fans, and Mickey Dolenz has his group, and Mike Nesmith's mom created MTV and Whiteout or whatever the fuck. And then there was Peter Tork. So
Yeah, I don't know any of those at all.
You don't know Mickey Dolenz?
Hey, we're the
I don't.
monkeys.
I mean, I know the monkeys, but I don't really know.
People say we monkey around.
I know
We're too
that.
busy singing to put anybody down.
True.
I
As long
know,
as we speak it, we won't get sued. Sorry, bro.
It's true.
I know them. I just don't know the fandom, so to speak.
I watched that show when I was a kid all the time.
Oh, my sister loved her some monkeys, so
Yeah,
she was
man.
heartbroken when Peter Tork passed.
Yeah.
Gloria Vanderbilt, Rich Bitch, and Anderson Cooper's mom.
Yeah, mom to Anderson
Yeah.
Cooper. The retrospective that he did on her, he did like a report on her life and everything. It was very moving.
Yeah.
I thought. I didn't mean to like fall into it, but it was just one of those things where it was like on and I didn't feel like moving.
Toni Morrison passed away. She,
Right.
author. Somebody who I thought was already dead, Rip Torn.
Isn't that
Yeah.
fun?
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, he's not dead?
Yeah. Well, it's because like they killed him off in Men in Black, and you're like, oh well, he must be really dead, right? Like, he didn't want to come back for that shit film.
Lord.
Beth Chapman, the bounty hunter's wife, passed away.
That's a shame.
Yeah.
I don't think I heard about that.
Oh, she was sick for a long time. Like, it was so weird to see, like, just things at the grocery store, like the flannel rags of like him at her bedside and stuff. Because you're used to seeing Doug like, this is bear mace, motherfucker. Peggy Lipton, Tim Conway died. Seymour Castle, who most people don't know about, he's a veteran, very much a veteran actor.
Right.
Don Imus, who was known, he was basically
Racist asshole.
Yeah, he was the poor man's Howard Stern, who got in a lot of trouble. I think it was 2002.
Yeah,
3.
he wasn't he commenting on the WNBA?
Well, it was a women's college basketball team.
That's right.
He was
Yeah.
the one
Yeah.
that said
Yes.
that about their hair. What
Yes.
a dick.
Yes.
Nappy-headed hose.
What a piece of shit.
As a white man,
Yeah, he's burning in hell.
yeah.
Cool. Well, the world's not poorer for him being gone.
Carol Spiney, everybody knows Big Bird.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no longer with us.
Yeah, that was a
did Big
shame.
Bird for what, like 40 years or something insane?
I mean, forever, right? I mean, he was the original one, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, she-
that's,
Carol?
No,
that's a man.
Carol's a man.
Oh, was it a guy? I'm sorry.
Yeah, it was a man.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I corrected you, so we're going to go with it.
Oh, thanks.
John Witherspoon, Diane Carroll passed away. Eddie Money, Grumpy Cat.
Oh,
died.
well.
Grumpy Cat
damn.
didn't die. That's a shame.
Apparently, it was a big news story. And Jim Fowler of Wild Kingdom. So that was your
Yeah, that
big
wasn't
list of
Yeah, it's
too
pretty
crazy.
So hey,
wild.
big names, get on dying in 2020.
No, I don't want anyone
no.
to die.
Oh, yeah,
Do you
no,
remember
that's
the
not
year
the
that
right
Alan
idea.
Rickman and David Bowie died in the same year.
And
Fuck
Prince.
that. Never want that again.
That was a bad year.
Yeah.
That was a
Never
real
want that
bad
again.
year. It was a real.
I thought it was a sign of like the apocalypse. Like everybody who like mattered died.
Listen, kids, don't do drugs.
And hey, I'm not trying to take anything away from you, Gloria Vanderbilt, Toni Morrison, Luke Perry. Like your lives matter too. But
Definitely.
it was. But that's probably a good thing, right? That we didn't have a juicy list of death.
John, that's literally what Brian and I have been saying. You're the only one that was upset about
You're the
this.
only one smiling at the list of death. By the way,
It's
the whole
true.
time you're reading these names off, you're just like, oh well, this person died.
Yes,
I was twirling my mustache. I had a woman tied to some train tracks.
it's
yeah.
true. Brian had to go save her. It was weird.
All right, now everybody's favorite part of the show: prequels, sequels, offshoots, reboots, and remakes.
Oh, dear.
Star Wars, Rise of Skywalker, Avengers, Endgame, Spider-Man, Far From Home, Captain Marvel, Joker, Aladdin, Hobbs and Shaw, Lion King, Frozen 2, Pet Sematary, Dark Phoenix, Child's Play, It, Chapter 2, Terminator, Cash Grab, Zombieland 2, Jay and Silent Bob Get Rebooted, Dr. Sleep, Hellboy, Men in Black Take Europe, Godzilla, King of Monsters, Toy Story 4, The Addams Family, Annabelle Homecoming, How to Train Your Dragon, the third one, Glass, Dumbo, The Hustle, Lego Movie 2, John Wick 3, Charlie's Angels, What Men Want, Happy Death Day to You, Jumanji 2, Blow in the Cartridge, Secret Life of Pets, Ms. Bala, Kingsman 3, Shaft, 47 Meters Down, The Next Chapter, Rambo 5, Dark Christmas, and Detective Pikachu.
It's like we're not even needed, Brian.
That's impressive.
It's like we're not even required.
Yeah. Why even be here?
We're just the eye candy.
I'm gonna
but
just
it's a
let you
podcast.
record the shit from now on.
It's a shame that we're the eye candy and no one can see it, Brian, because
Yeah.
we serve no
You
other
guys are
function.
good-looking.
Clearly,
But I will say this: of all the Disney negativity and all the negativity we brought, the year did have some incredible movies
yeah.
and a lot of disappointments. But that's the story for next time.
Ooh.
I love how you did that one. Yeah, that's part one of our
That's
2019.
2019 year in review.
Did it.
I mean, Brian, in the past you put like dumpsters and then dumpsters on fire and then dumpsters floating down a river on fire. I don't think this was a dumpster.
No,
No.
it wasn't a dumpster.
Yeah.
I think it was just kind of a. It was just a sigh.
Just like a bit of
Yeah.
a respite.
It was just like a well.
You know what's funny? I had a really good 2019. Like I saw a lot of people are like, "Oh my god, this year can't be over fast
They
enough."
say that about every fucking
I feel
year.
I feel bad
That makes
because
me sad. Like
well, me
that people
too.
are so sad. and
Especially when
negative.
it's like my friends, like because I'm gonna say right now, like I've had bad years, like 2017, 2018, both kind of sucked for me big time. But like it felt good to have a good year, and I
I was
feel
going to say
bad that
I'm
anybody
pretty sure
didn't.
that November 11th of 2016 was a pretty bad day for most people.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, you don't. Not at all. No one knows what I'm talking about.
But yeah, I mean, like, but
you
I mean,
act like a
but,
game show host and Carnival Barker
excuse me,
became president.
November 9th. I'm sorry.
but I mean,
I'm
but,
sorry.
but for me
that
personally
particular
as well,
day, I got to get the right day right.
Yeah.
November 9th.
Actually, Brian.
Actually,
outside of anything,
is that
else,
a Trump joke? Did you make a Trump joke?
Personally on 2017, like I got laid off and like I had a hard time finding a new job and. Like I've had bad years, so I was grateful for 2019. If for no other reason, then it was a good year, and I know enough to be grateful for that. So,
I mean, for our show, 2019 was a very good year. I will say that. I mean, our listenership grew, our downloads grew substantially. I've been posting recently.
We love all of you.
Been posting recently on the social medias about us hitting landmarks.
Yeah.
In terms of our listenership.
We did it.
So I mean, for me, I just want to say thank you to everyone who listens to this show, who takes the time to comment to us and that sort of stuff keeps us going. I mean, a lot of times it's really easy to get kind of like bogged down and say, well, we don't do this show for money. There's really no return out of it other than just it's fun.
Right.
But when we see people who actually get it, who actually enjoy it, it does mean a lot. So I guess for me, thank you.
We legitimately try to make this show better every episode. We try to bring you bigger names, bigger topics, bigger stories, and we keep trying to outdo ourselves all the time. We haven't become complacent or negative. So hopefully,
just on Disney.
Yeah. Well, I meant negative in terms of negative about podcasting, not
Right.
most of our stories are negative.
Listen, we're going to be bringing you the hatred you love for years.
But hopefully that comes across. And thank you all for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, John, where can they find you at on the Twitter machine?
At RIP Peter Mayhew _.
Damn fucking right.
That's better.
The Unreal J Wolves.
Lane?
I can be found at LA_Croft.
You can find me at Brian Contest on the Psycho Show page. Be sure to like us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Psycho Show. You can also find us on the Epicast Network at epicastnetwork.com. If you have a favorite movie or question you want to throw away, you want to talk to us about your favorite movie moments from 2019, you can contact us at cinemapsychoshow.com. And make sure to subscribe to us at Apple Podcasts and iTunes and catch our new episode next time.
I got nothing.